Hey, what's up guys, and before we start, go and check out What If Naruto was the next stage of 6 Path on my second channel. I did part 3 for it. But now I'm going to be giving you part 21 of What If Naruto went with Itachi. Get this one to 100 likes as usual, share it to all of your friends on your social media platform, and if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, click that red subscribe button and join Anime King family. And also, go down below, the first link at the top of the description. That will be linked to my second channel where I also post awesome What If on that channel. So remember to stay tuned and turn on all bell notification. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Naruto met up with Itachi and Kisame, who had come into his room, where Naruto woke up and saw the both of them. Naruto got furious after seeing Itachi, thinking that Itachi betrayed him, but Itachi was only doing the best for Naruto by getting him out of the Akatsuki, because Itachi do not want pain to touch him. Naruto turned the cloak as he went on all fours. He rushed towards Itachi. The both of them were having a small battle in the forest until Itachi awakened his Mangeto Sharingan and put Naruto to sleep. They then went away after Kisame handed over Naruto's unconscious body to Jiraiya and told him to make sure Naruto was safe and that if anything happened to him, he will come for Jiraiya and make sure he suffers. Back in the hotel, Tsunade knew that it was time for her to have her meeting with Orochimaru and she wanted to go alone. She has already put something inside of Jiraiya's drink from last night and she punched Shizune in her stomach and knocked her out. Now the only thing left to do is deal with the brat. So basically that was the last time, but you guys can check it out for yourself. Tsunade was walking as she knocked on the door. She went inside. She looked around, realizing her mistake. She forgot that the boy was a master of hiding. Damn it, I should have taken him out first. Oh well, I will go deal with Orochimaru right now, and then I will return to Konoha, where we should be safe. No problem, Tsunade said, as she then left the hotel to deal with Orochimaru not be able to find Naruto, so she decided to go alone. Tsunade stood in front of Orochimaru and his assistant Kabuto. Both of them were watching her carefully as she then took off her jacket. She then walked up to Orochimaru as her hand started to glow green, making Orochimaru smile, knowing that she activated her healing abilities. As she were about to place her hand over his, he felt Kabuto pushed him back as Tsunade jumped back as well as the ground below them exploded. I thought so. I knew you were about to try and kill Lord Orochimaru, Kabuto said as he pushed his glasses back over his eyes. Tsunade hissed as she rushed at the both of them dodging her attack easily as they lead her out to the field. Orochimaru reached the field as he looked around, realizing that something happened out here. This was the field that Naruto and Itachi fought. Orochimaru then sighed and said, "You really messed up, Tsunade. Kabuto, why don't you take care of her for me?" "It will be my honor, Lord Orochimaru," Kabuto said as he charged forward. Tsunade dodged the boy's glowing hand as she saw a wide opening as she hit him in the neck with full force as he dropped to the ground as he was twitching all over. "You won't be able to move for a while. I rewire your nervous system in that blow, and I'm sure it hurt a lot, she said with a smile on her face. Kabuto growled as Tsunade pushed past him to fight Orochimaru, but she was surprised when Kabuto appeared again, as he looked at her with a smirk on his face. I figure things out faster than others. By moving my body parts, I can move anything I wanted to, said Kabuto, as he got into a fighting stance. Ready again, he said with a smirk on his face, as Tsunade clenched her fists that should have held him off for about an hour and a half. But no, it was just mere second. This boy is good, she said as he charged at her with full speed. She rushed at him, prepared to get in a fight, but when they were 10 feet away from each other, he slashed his own hand, making the blood leak as he flashed it on her, activating her phobia, as she then dropped to her knees in fear. She had hemophobia for blood. Look like someone is not over her fear of blood, Orochimaru said, as she put her both hands on the ground, trembling, trying to get a hold of herself. That was when Jiraiya and Shizune came there. Shizune ran over to Tsunade in an instant, trying to calm her down and telling her that it will be alright. Shizune pulled out a handkerchief to wipe the blood off of Tsunade's face and hands. Jiraiya then looked at Orochimaru hatefully. You leave her out of this, you damn snake, said Jiraiya. It's your fault that you lost your hands to Sensei. After what you did, you should have lost your life. Orochimaru hissed hatefully at the mention of his old sensei, but he was now dead. That old fool only prolonged the inevitable. I will destroy Konoha sooner or later. Plus, I was going to kill Tsunade after she healed me anyway. I won't let her get back into the village. She's too much of a danger with that expert healing ability, able to heal the ninjas and show the rest of them how to perform her healing ability, Orochimaru said as he looked at Tsunade. Jiraiya got angry of hearing this, but he also remembered something. The boy named Naruto, you marked him. Why? Orochimaru's eyes glistened of the name of Naruto. He was strong and very cute when I met him at the Akatsuki base. I marked him so he could be my next body. Jiraiya's eyes widened of hearing the part that Naruto was a part of the group that had been hunting people like him. Biju. But why would Naruto be a part of that group? Jiraiya had no idea. But now he understands why Kisame was so dead intent on protecting the boy. But that doesn't matter right now, said Orochimaru. All I want is for that woman to die. Kabuto, if you don't mind, take care of the slug, and I will take care of the frog. And with that, Orochimaru charged at Jiraiya, with his arms flapping at his side, as Kabuto ran towards Tsunade. Shizune was about to take Kabuto on, but she was stopped by a blur passing her, as Kabuto was sent flying into the ground, slamming into a giant rock, as he coughed up some blood, as the rock hurt his back in pain. Kabuto steadied his eyes as he looked at the blur. Well, he said as he coughed up some more blood. Isn't it Naruto? This is a little surprising, Kabuto said, with a very cheerful expression on his face, as he got up. He then put his hand on his back and started to heal himself. Orochimaru was miraculously on one of his giant snakes, as Jiraiya was a bit distance away as he fired Senbon needles out of his hair. Orochimaru was sighting them as he looked down to see Naruto, as he then licked his lips. He muttered something, but then he had to quickly block the punch from Jiraiya. Pay attention, Orochimaru. Your fight is with me, said Jiraiya. Naruto shot forward and attacking Kabuto, and the two exchanged multiple blows with each other. Shizune watching as amazement as Naruto was taking on Kabuto, as Naruto then flipped back, avoiding the strike of Kabuto with his kunai. Kabuto was panting as Naruto stood there like he wasn't out of breath. Kabuto then pulled out two pills as he then swallowed them as a burst of chakra refilled his body as he looked at Naruto as he was all pumped. Kabuto then ran through some hand signs as his hand turned blue. Naruto ignored the danger signs as he ran straight into the battle. Kabuto then struck at Naruto, which Naruto easily caught his wrist as Naruto twisted. Naruto was getting overconfident as Kabuto flipped around using his other arm as he stabbed Naruto right in the chest, as it looked like he stabbed him straight in the heart. Naruto was sent flying back. As he dropped on the ground, he was on his side, no one to see his face. Kabuto then jumped to Orochimaru's side, as Orochimaru then opened his mouth wide and let out about 10 to 12 snakes, as they all formed together, creating a giant snake. That is what he did in the first place, to be on that snake. He sent the giant snake straight after Jiraiya, as Jiraiya then went through some hand signs of his own, as he said, fire style, burning flames, as he burned up the snake. As you can be heard, the snake being crying out as it was disintegrated. Naruto was on the ground as Tsunade and Shizune rushed over to him to see if he was alright. This is my fault, said Tsunade as she pushed Shizune out of the way, as Naruto, the veins that connect to his heart, were cut and no blood was going into his heart. As Shizune looked at Tsunade, seeing the worried look on her face, is he going to be alright? As Tsunade realized that Naruto's heart has already stopped beating. So with everything she had, she pushed healing chakra into his body, connecting his vessels and other ligaments back, trying to restart his heart and fix the problem. But it wouldn't start, as if the fox had pushed his own chakra trying to start back Naruto's heart, but it wouldn't start at all, as Tsunade then went to the problems of Naoki and Dawn. The bloods, all the tears, all everything, bodies, corpses, she said, the necklace she wear around her neck as she squeezed it tightly, the green crystal around her neck shining in the sun as she cried around Naruto's body. His headband was still tied around his neck and his face looked blank as she still tried to bring him back to life. Finally, after she think that she had lost the boy, his hand lifted up and patted her on the cheek, as she was surprised to see Naruto's eyes open, with a smile on his face. They can't get rid of me that easily, said Naruto, as she wrapped her arms around him and gave him a big hug, as she then called Shizune to watch over Naruto as she went over to where Jiraiya and Orochimaru was fighting. She then ran through some hand signs after biting her thumb and summoned her slug. Then the fight really began, as the three of them battled insanely. The fight only lasted for a couple of minutes, until Orochimaru had to retreat, knowing that him and Kabuto couldn't face off against Tsunade and Jiraiya because he was kind of useless without his arms. They were now on their way back to Konoha. Naruto was still kind of scared about seeing Orochimaru again, so he was clinging on to Jiraiya's leg, as Tsunade only laughed at this. It was now funny to her. But they had reached outside of Konoha. She then looked down at Naruto, seeing that he was still holding on to Jiraiya tightly, as she then held Naruto's arm, making Naruto look at her with a complete shock on his face. He was confused. She looked at him. He was really adorable in this state, as he looked so confused and so precious. Well, that smirk faded as she saw the two elders standing in front of the gates, waiting for them to come to them. Tsunade had this horrible feeling that Jiraiya has forgotten to mention something to her. Thanks to that, she was now doomed. Couple of minutes later, the two elders waited for Tsunade to stop fidgeting. They were at the Hokage Tower and everyone was eager to start. Or in Tsunade's case, run for the hills. Now, we must talk, Tsunade. We have asked Jiraiya to find you, so you can take the position of the next Hokage. The two old elders said, as Tsunade's eyes widened. Oh, hell no. I refuse to take that stupid job in the first place. The only reason I came here because of Naruto. I wanted to help him. I do not want to become Hokage at all, Tsunade said, as she hated the job and she didn't want to take it. Hamaru, one of the elders, glared at her and began to speak. But you must. You are the first granddaughter and the niece of the second Hokage. You have the greatest medical skills. You can also restart the medical teachings once again, not to mention with that wild strength you have. You could be a great Hokage, Tsunade, the old man said, as Tsunade was still there. She was still shaking this position. She was really nervous to take this position on. The Hokage? As she looked out the window, did not know what to say. She really didn't want to become a Hokage. She couldn't deal with that at the moment. Tsunade, you could protect Naruto, said Jiraiya. He really needs you right now, since you are the only one who understands where his phobia came from. And you can help him get over it. And you can also protect him and keep him safe from being executed by these old fools. As the two elders stared at him for calling them old fools, Tsunade had frozen at that. Jiraiya was right. Naruto was the only reason why she was here. They had left him in care of his team for now, but he couldn't always stay with them. Not to mention, she knew that they would have a plan to get rid of him. The third Hokage was now gone, and they could have a vote in the council meeting, and she knew that with the thing that the boy possessed, most of them will agree to get him out of the village and abandon him. She then made up her mind as she slammed her hand on the desk. I accept the title of the Hokage, as Jiraiya smirked, as he said, well done, Tsunade. Naruto laid against a tree with his team, as all of them were just there, chilling out. So, tomorrow is October the 10th, said Sakura. What are you going to be doing tomorrow? Sakura asked Naruto. Naruto then paled instantly. He had forgotten that the Kyuubi festival would be happening on his birthday as well. Naruto, try not to miss your own party, Kakashi said, as he continued to read his book. I won't, Kakashi-sensei, said Naruto, as he then tensed up. Why are you so tense? Sakura asked him as she noticed it. It's the same day I left with Itachi. The same day your family died, Sasuke, Naruto said as he looked over at Sasuke. The same day I first killed, he explained lightly. Sasuke looked over at Naruto. Who did you kill, Naruto? Sasuke asked him. As Sakura then sat down beside of him and wrapped her arms around his shoulder as she wanted to know. Kakashi has also put away his book as he was interested in the conversation. Who did you kill, Naruto? Sasuke asked again after a couple minutes of silence, and he didn't get a response from his question in the first place. Naruto was looking at the ground as his face was shadowed by his hair that was now leaning down. Naruto, answer the question, Sasuke yelled out as Naruto looked up, showing his red eyes. I killed over 50 ninjas and half of them were at least Jonin level. I had no choice. Either I got killed or I had to kill them all, Naruto said. Sasuke looked over to a calm-faced Sakura who has moved up so she could lower Naruto's face on her shoulder. She held him in a hug for a while until the both of them heard snoring sounds. He fallen asleep? That quickly? Said Sasuke, as she then moved her arm to see Naruto's eyes were closed and he was really asleep. Kakashi simply chuckled at the scene. Sakura leaned against a tree as Naruto had his head cradled on her shoulder, as Sasuke then lay his heads on Sakura's legs as he fell asleep as well. Sakura then also fell asleep as she leaned her head on the tree, as Kakashi could only chuckle as he watched his three students fall asleep on each other. But guys, I'm ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below and turn on that bell notification. And remember to share to all of your friends on your social media platform. And go over and check out my second channel, Anime King 2. I'll be leaving the link at the top of the description. So I hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now guys. Peace. And wait, there's a what if coming after this. Bye guys.